Hi all, I'm Sirija. I hope you all have the attendees here today. So I'll be starting the session today. Firstly, I'm Sirija from Infotech, and I have about 6 years of experience working in MNCs like Amazon, Microsoft, and I've been data analyst trainer for about 6 years now. And yes, so today let's start with the session. In this session, I'll be covering the topics about what is data and the types of data. And we also have the differences between data analytics, data science, and business analytics, and the tools required in data analytics. So let's get started. Firstly, we all always have a question like, what is data? So let's say we have Amazon website now. I just typed in Amazon. Let's do it again. I typed in Amazon and I have Amazon website open here. So if I log in here, if I click on sign in and enter any of the number over here, that is considered as data. Okay. And I'm not going to log in now. So here, let me say I have entered cars, for example. So this particular cars E is considered as data. So where you're entering, even that is considered as data. Let's say I have selected cars, but then I'm going down and scrolling on to cars for boys or cars for kids 3 to 5 years. So even that is considered as data because I am moving the cursor. If I am moving the cursor, that means I'm going down the options, which means I am much more interested in the data below. That is cars for kids 5 years or 5+ years. So if I click on this particular thing will be considered as data. And now let's say I want to add this into the cart. So I will be clicking on this button that is add to cart. And now if I click on go to cart, so here I have clicked on add to cart. So that is also a data. And here when I click on go to cart, even that particular click is considered as data. Here we have Mini Explorer 5 and all that, right? I'm sorry, just a minute. Oh, I'm so sorry. Earlier the screen was not being shared. I'm so sorry. I'll go through it again, don't worry. So let's just say I went to Amazon website. So here I opened Google, right? Even this is considered as data. And now I clicked on this particular first link, that is data. And here, when I click on sign in and try to enter my phone number, let's say some 876985432. So this particular number that you enter will be the data. And also the number of times that this particular user is opening Amazon is also a data. And even if you try to randomly search for Amazon, even that will be considered as data. For now, I'm not logging in. I will just go to the search box. So my first point was to the search box. So that means the data will understand that, the system will understand that I'm not interested about anything that is being displayed on the home page, but I'm trying to search something in the search box. Let's just go with cars. Okay. So if I enter cars here, even that is taken as data. And here there are a lot of options that showing up here. However, if I go down, even that will be considered as data because I'm scrolling down. That means I am liking the options that are being displayed at the bottom, which is cars for 2 years old or cars for boys. So let me just go with cars for boys for now. And so why everything is being captured is, so what type of data that you search, that will be displayed on the home page when you log in. If you notice, you'll always see recently viewed or you'll be able to see recently purchased and all that. So that is the AI that is working behind. That is the algorithms or the commands that we're given that is working behind. Over here, let's just say I will add this particular item into the cart. So this particular add to cart is considered as data. And now if I click on go to cart, even this particular click, which means that I have clicked on go to cart, is also considered as data. So here, how will it consider that I have added this particular item to the cart is by identifying the name, and it will also have a SKU number. Okay, each and every product on Amazon will also have a SKU number. It will have a very unique and identifiable number, which is very different and discrete from the other products. So in that way, it will know that I have added this particular item into the cart. And when the data analysts or data engineers or whoever it is try to retrieve the data, they will know that they have placed an order for this particular product. So now if I click on this, it has led to me to the cart. And now if I click on proceed to buy, even that is considered as data. So here, if I go to the payment option and everything, even that is data. However, if I don't place the order and go back, so it will even record that the customer did not place the order and is going back. So even that information will be loaded in the database. So the data analysts, the data engineers, the data scientists will all see even that information. They will identify like why the user or why the customer has not placed the order. Were there any issues, or was the product not suffice for the customer, or do we have to make any changes with the interface as such? So everything is related to data. Okay, now moving on. So basically, data is raw, unprocessed facts and figures that are collected from various sources. So that is nothing but, let's say, you have filled a survey form and it will have a lot of questions like what's your name, age, what is the field that you're interested in, and what are your qualifications, and what is the type of job that you're looking for. So all that is data, but it won't be stored properly in the database. It'll all be clumsy, and it'll all be in one place. They won't be segregated until we write the codes. So here we have surveys and forms as examples. We have transactions as I showed you earlier in the Amazon. So once you place this order, it will show you under my orders and payment history. So that particular thing is also a data. And we have sensors, like we have the temperature, humidity, speed, all those are also considered as data. And people information such as name, age, email, or their address, like when you're filling in Aadhaar, you're updating Aadhaar, or you're trying to purchase something and you give your name and information in Zudio or somewhere else, right? Even that is considered as data. So media like photos, videos, or audio files, even the video or the audio that I am recording now is considered as data. And we also have dates and times. You will see that in the receipts, you will have the time, the date, the product, and all, right? So all that is also considered as data. So if you see the data, it would have some or the other meaning on its own. However, that particular data is not cleaned or organized or analyzed. But when it is cleaned, organized, and analyzed, it will become a very useful information for the business. That is, if a company wants some information, they can directly look into the data, which is very clean, organized, and analyzed, and then get the information from that in order to predict or make any changes in the business. So this is completely about data. Data is completely raw. It is found everywhere around us, but only becomes valuable when we try to clean it, organize it, and analyze it. Only then it will be useful to make business decisions. So we also have, if someone just says 35, they just enter the data 35 in a form. Okay, it won't understand, like even we won't understand, right, what is 35 for. However, if you put an age and if you enter 35, then we would know that 35 is the age. Until then, 35 is just a age. I mean, sorry, it's just a number or it's just a data. Okay. So moving on, we have types of data. So the first type of data is qualitative data and the other is quantitative data. So the only difference between qualitative and quantitative data is it's just that qualitative is non-numeric and quantitative is numeric. So how is that is this particular qualitative data, it describes about the qualities or categories. However, quantitative, it describes or represents only the quantity that is in numbers. So how is that? I'll let you know. Now in qualitative, we have nominal and ordinal. So here in nominal, we have categories that have no order. So there will be two types of qualitative data, that is nominal and ordinal. So how do we differentiate between nominal and ordinal is this particular nominal will have categories with no order. However, ordinal will have categories with a order. So in the name itself, you can see ordinal is it will have order. So let me tell you a clear example so that you will have a better understanding on what is what. So let's start with nominal. So we have genders, right? But we have only three types of genders, that is male, female, or transgender. So in that, there are categories, but there is no order, like there is no higher or there is no lower. And we also have colors, colors of flowers or types of flowers. So we have lily, rose, jasmine, lotus. All these are unique and they have no order, which is this flower comes in higher category or this flower comes in lower category. So this particular flowers are also considered as nominal because they are different and they have no order. And moving on, we have country. So in country, we have India and Africa, Asia, all those countries, right? So in that particular country, all the countries are different with name and everything. There is no order between the countries. So first comes India, then comes China. No, there is nothing as such. And also, if you look at the complexion of people, there is fair, dark, a normal skin tone, all that. So even that, it has no order. It can be categorized in any format. And we also have eye color. So if you notice, some of them will have black and some will have brown and some blue. So even that, it has no order. And we have car brands, right? Like Audi, Benz, as such. So even those, they are different categories. There is no order. So that is how nominal comes under, which is categories with no order. Now moving on to ordinal. So ordinal is something with an order, such as we have here, as we see in the PPT, education level, movie rating, and customer feedback. So education level is simple. We have LKG, UKG, first standard, standard. So that is the education level. It is going on increasing, and there is an order. So once you complete LKG, you move to UKG, you move to first class. So that is categories with order. And we have movie ratings. So movie ratings is you will have 5 stars or you will have a 10. So for 10, they'll give you IDMB review, right? About 4.2 or 6.7 or 8. So that it is having some order. That means as you go forward, it means it is good. The movie is really good. As the rating goes down, the movie is not good. So that is how it can be predicted with this particular ordinal data. And now we have customer feedback. So a lot of us gives the customer feedback with saying satisfied, not satisfied, happy, good, better, average. So all those is ordinal data, which means, so we know, right? Satisfied means very good, not satisfied means very bad. So in that way, we can categorize it based on the data. Now we also have, 1 minute, sorry. We have, let's say, our dress sizes or our t-shirt sizes. It starts from XS and goes up till 3XL. So even that is also a category with order because it is increasing and decreasing in an order. So that's pretty much about nominal and ordinal. And moving on, we have quantitative data. So quantitative data is something that can be, weighed or calculated. That is a numeric. So here in qualitative, it cannot be counted or it cannot be, if anyone asks us how many, we cannot tell how many or anything. We can just tell into what it is categorized. However, in quantitative, it is represented as numeric format. Numeric format is, let's say, in particular quantitative, we have discrete and continuous. So in discrete, there comes countable numbers. Countable numbers are mostly in integers. So that is number of students in a class or number of students attending a seminar. So you can count the head of the students, right? How many head, like what is the head count? Like how many students are attending? So that particular data is called discrete, which is countable. Okay. And we also have cars in a parking lot. So if you visit any mall or something like that, you will see in some malls, they will display it outside saying that this particular basement is full with this many cars. So how are they representing that using this particular data? And we also have number of orders. Let's say there is a shipment coming in and how many orders are there, how many products are there. So all that will be discrete data. However, continuous data is measurable numbers. Measurable numbers is something like it will be in float or decimal numbers, which means if you notice your height, let's say I am 5'1" or 5 or 6 feet or 6'1". So 6.1, which is a continuous data. And before that also there will be heights, right? So all those heights like 5, 5'1", 5'2", 5'3", it is going on up till 6'7", something like that. So it is a continuous format and that is called measurable numbers. So moving on, we have weight. Weight is I can weigh 50 kgs or 72 kgs or let's say 83.3 kgs. So upon going, you're increasing. So that means there is a continuous value, continuous data over here. So that is the weight. And moving on, we have temperature. Let's consider the weather temperature here, the weather climate. It will be 23 in the night, and in the morning it can go up till 34. But if it goes above 40, that means there is a lot of humidity. And we would know that it is going above 40, which means it is going higher. So that is called measurable numbers. It is continuous. There is a low value, there is a high value, which is numeric. So here countable is nothing but number, like you are able to count the number of people and all. It is in integer format. That is only single digit. I mean single or double digit or triple, like that. And coming to continuous, it can be in float or decimal numbers. Like you can see on the screen saying 72.5 or something like that. That's the only major difference. So the key takeaway here is qualitative is what something is. Like what is it? Okay. What is the gender of that person? That is called qualitative. Quantitative is you can weigh it, like how much it is or how many are there. So that is the only difference between qualitative and quantitative that you have to understand. So moving on, we have data analytics versus data science versus business analytics. So now we have to understand what is what. I mean to say, what is used for, okay, let's say how the data is used here. So in data analytics, that is our course, we will find out what happened. That means in the past, like what happened for this result to come out. That is, we look at the past data. So let's say in a shopping mall, or let's say in Trends, currently there is a sale going on that is 3499 on 3499. So let's take that sale. They will verify and imagine that the sale has happened and it was done yesterday. So until yesterday, they will look for that period of time, how many sales have gone through, and what type of products were majorly purchased, and at what time did the customer visit the store, and at what time was the store very highly packed with customers. And they will also see were there any billing issues, and they will also notice how many returns have happened, how many exchange has happened. So all this will be come out, will be the result of the data that has happened or collected from that particular sale. So now that will see, I mean, that will we will be able to make out what the flaws are or what were the drawbacks from what has happened. So it has already happened in the past, that is until yesterday. So today we would know what has happened and what actually occurred based on that particular data. That is purely data analytics. Now, moving on, we have data science. That is, it will predict what will happen. That means, because of this, what will it result? What is going to happen is called data science. For that, they'll be using models and algorithms. So this is completely the future. If we do this, now for suppose we have a sale that is going on, we will put in all information over there, the number of products, the sale for how many days it has to go and all. So from that, what will happen is being predicted. That means we will predict the future using data science, data analytics. We will see what has already happened. But in data science, we will see what will happen. That is using models and algorithms. Now we have business analytics. So here it will decide what to do next. That is, now the sale has happened in Trends, and now we will see what all happened, what are the flaws, and from this, what better can we do next is all about business analytics. That is, it is used to make better business decisions. Now, let's say there has been some issue with the products. They were all being returned or exchanged. So, in the coming up sale, they will try to make this change by checking the products twice if there is any damage or if there is any fitting issue, and they will try to eliminate such type of products and try to release new products into the sale. So that is how business analysts give ideas. They only write it in paper, and they just inform the team that you can do better this way, and if you do something like this you will have better result. So that is all about business analytics. So this is what actually happens in data analytics, data science, and business analytics. Now let's say what it does. So this is used to find, data analytics is used to find trends and patterns in past data. So here, trends and patterns is like the recurringly occurring uh, actions. Let's say not a lot of people visited, not a lot of people visited during this time or on weekdays. So that is trends and patterns. And now we have in data science, it builds AI and machine learning models to predict the future. So here they will alert like if there is any issue or anything, and they will inform the customers that there is some issue going on and they don't have to visit it, or the sale is being extended. Such changes will be used, I mean, will be made using data science. Uh, and here the AI and machine learning will help to build such type of models in data science. Coming to business analytics, it will turn this particular data into actions that will improve the business results. That is, it will just do great to the business by providing a lot more ideas on how you can improve or what betterment can be brought into the business in order to improve the business sales such as such. Now, let's say in data analytics, as I mentioned earlier, the sales have dropped. So that could be one example. What data analytics analysts can predict. What can they predict from past data is they can predict that sales have dropped in the last month. However, in data science, this particular data scientist will be able to predict that the sales will be dropped by 10% in the coming month or the next month. So that is what a data scientist can predict from the data that he has. And business analyst will what will the business analyst do is he will try to increase ads and offer discounts to improve sales. Let's say they have launched 349 and they'll make it 2499 or something like that, or 4000 or something like that. So they'll do some or the other improvement in order to make the business bright. So that is what a business analyst does. So the key question, like if you want to know what a data analyst, data science scientist, and a business analyst does is, data analyst will always think what happened, and data scientist will think what will happen, and a business analyst will think what should we do. So why does data analyst think what happened is, he wants to know what happened in the previous month when I have launched this sale and what went wrong. Were there any loopholes or were there any flaws that happened without us knowing? So next, data scientist, he will understand, he will read the data, he will improve the algorithms and do everything, and he will predict what will happen even without going live. So they have launched it now, but the sale is not going to happen for about 1 month, but he will be predicting sooner about what will happen or what is going to happen. And here business analyst is, he will think about what should we do. So he has the data and he will think about better ideas. So he won't be writing any code or anything. Moving on, we have tools that we use for data analytics and data science and business analytics. So here in data analytics, we use Excel, SQL, Power BI, and Tableau. We also use Python, but not in an advanced level. We also use Python for data analytics. So for this analytics is just, we just clean the data, analyze the data. So that's pretty much it that we do. So that is the reason why we have only Excel, SQL, Power BI, and Tableau and Python that we will be learning. And moving on, however, a data scientist should know Python, R, machine learning, TensorFlow. TensorFlow is a tool, and he will also have to know artificial intelligence. Some roles require AI as well. And moving on, we have business analyst who will have to know Excel, SQL, Power BI, Tableau. So a data analyst can also become a business analyst. A business analyst can also become a data analyst, because mostly it will be the same. So that's pretty much it. So here we have a real life example which includes online shopping. Let's say in data analytics, it will predict that last month we sold 1,000 mobile phones. It will it will be able to look into the past. And data science, next month we are likely to sell 1,300 mobile phones. So that is, it is predicting the future. And a business analyst, he will be able to say that let's increase the stock and run a discount campaign to maximize the sales. So he's giving an idea on how we can improve the business. So that's pretty much it. Like, what's the difference between data analytics, data science, and data business analytics? Now let's move on to what is data analytics. So here, as we understood that data analytics is the process of collecting, cleaning, and analyzing and interpreting data to discover useful information, to identify trends and patterns, and support better decision making. So this is nothing but, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people will come in into the store, they'll purchase the items and everything. So we have all the data now. Now that data, they will categorize it. That is, they will clean if there are any null values that were entered. Like, let's say some of them, the bill won't be printed correctly. And let's say the price is incorrectly entered on the product. The tag has incorrect, the product has incorrect tag on it. It got misplaced. So all that will be considered here. So any such will be cleaned. It will be analyzed, like what is happening, what has happened, and then it will interpret. Interpret is nothing but it will give us the outcome of what has happened. If you want any data, it will show it to you on the screen in the form of charts and everything. So for making better decision making. So that's pretty much it about data analytics. It is nothing but we have to first collect the data, we have to clean the data, and then we have to analyze it. Analyze is nothing but knowing what is what happened, and all that. And interpreting is, so if we submit this report to anyone outside our company or any other business head or to the client, they won't understand data analytics. So that is the reason why they gave us to show them in the form of charts. And that is where data analytics come. We represent that data in the form of charts, in the form of, let's say, pivot tables. All that is used by the data analyst to show it to the client. Now, what actually happens in data analytics processes, as as I mentioned earlier, it is just that we collect data and we clean the data, we analyze the data, and then we interpret the results so that it will help to make decisions. That is the business decisions. So here in collect data, what do we collect or gather? We gather data from various sources. Let's say we have it from Amazon website, or we have it from, let's say, what can I say now, or any survey that's happening, or voting, anything as such. So that is particular if you're collecting the data. And now we have to clean the data. We have to see in a survey, some of them may have entered the value, but they may have entered the value or returned the value in a different column or different row where it has to be written, but in another row. So that will be giving us errors. So in that case, we try to identify the errors. So that is pretty much it about clean data. Now moving on, and after cleaning the data, we analyze the data. So first we collect the data, and then we have to clean the data so we can operate on it. So we can find out what we want from it. And once we clean the data, we try to analyze it. That is, we analyze the patterns, trends, and insights. Patterns are nothing but like how was the pattern for this particular period of month? Like how many sales have happened, how many people have enrolled, how many visits were there. So that is completely about patterns. Trends is what reflected what. Like if this people entered this, what has happened? Let's say above 60 or 70 people, they won't be eligible for insurance to apply. So those are all the trends and insights. How can we make better? So that is all about analyzing the data. And after we analyze the data that is done by us, we also try to interpret the results. Interpret the results as understand what the results mean and draw conclusion. Like after retrieving the data, we try to put it into the chart and represent like how it is looking, what does it say, what does it mean, and we draw it all in the form of charts so the client or the third person can understand. And from this particular result, that particular person will make the decisions how to make the business better or how to make better decisions, and all that will be done upon us interpreting the results. So basically, what you have to take from this is data analytics turns raw data into meaningful insights that helps business improve performance, reduces cost, and create better customer experience. As I mentioned earlier, it is all about data. As I told you earlier, we have shopping cart and we have Amazon, I'm sorry, we have trends and all that. So we have the information, but it is not organized properly. Here in data analytics, it tries to organize the data properly in order to us to perform some calculations or in order to retrieve some data on that particular information. which is used to improve businesses and reduce costs or improve better results, discounts as such. So here we also have an example, real life example, that is an online store collects data on customer purchases. It cleans, analyzes it, finds that most people buy shoes on weekends and decides to run weekend offers to increase sales. Great example. So if you notice, some of the Amazon sales, they will be put up only during festivals or something, because during Dasara, let's take during Dasara, Indians always tend to buy new products, electronics during Dasara. So that is why they try to put up a sale during Dasara, because it will be sold a lot compared to other months and other offers. So in that way, the Amazon websites make better offers for the customers in order for their website or for their products to be sold better compared to Flipkart or any other website. So that is how each and every business person or organizations think better on how to improve their business. So for them to improve a business, they need a data analyst, because data analyst is the only person who can collect the data, clean the data, analyze the data, and interpret the results so the business or the organization can make better decisions. Now, moving on, we have data analytics. I'm sorry if you're all bored. This is the last part. I'll end up the session after this. It'll just take about 2 minutes. So now we have data analytics tools. So these particular tools are used in data analytics in order to clean, collect, analyze, and visualize the data. So Excel is used for data cleaning, analysis, charts, and reports. So as we all know, in Excel, we will have chart representation like pivot tables, pie charts, bar graphs, and all. So all that is used in Excel. So we use Excel for data cleaning, analysis, charts, and reports. We have Power BI. Power BI is a tool in order to create interactive dashboards and visualize data. So this we can show this particular data to the third party or the client that this is how the data is. And moving on, we have Tableau, which is also a visualization tool that is used to create charts and dashboards. It is similar to Excel in case of showing up, but it has more advanced versions, dashboards, charts, and everything. And moving on, we have Excel. I'm sorry, SQL. SQL is a database which is used to extract, manage, and analyze data from databases. So plays a major role here. And moving on, we have Python. Python is a programming language used for advanced data analysis. It is also used for normal data analysis. So we have to learn Python here. And moving on, we have Google Sheets. Google Sheets is a cloud-based tool for analysis and collaboration. So we use Google Colab in order to write some codes. And we also have Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook is where we write the Python code. So in Jupyter Notebook, we will be able to create and share code, analyze, and visualizations. So these particular tools, they help to turn raw data into meaningful insights and support better decision making. So that's pretty much about it. Do you have any questions? You can type in the chat so I can clear your doubts. If you have no questions, you can leave the meeting. Thank you for joining. Have a good day.